Okay, Tears of the Kingdom is incredible. The gameplay showcase was something else, and overall, really impressive. At this point, I just can't understand why people are so divided over this game. The only reason that comes to mind is that it just reused assets from Breath of the Wild, but it's not like this hasn't happened before. Remember Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask? I mean, I don't, but people still love this game, even when the graphics and the UI of the two are practically the same. This game is just going to change the way any of you ever played Breath of the Wild. From what we've seen, the Sheikah runes just aren't there anymore. Think about how heavily the runes impacted your gameplay. You need to use them everywhere, whether it's to drop a metal boulder on an unsuspecting bocoblin's head or to fly halfway across the map at incredible speeds. They were essential for your progression throughout the game. Now, if this Sheikah Slate shown in a previous trailer is different, they're gone. DLCs don't just change the entire game like that, and I wouldn't go out my way to buy some DLC that removes features from the base game and drastically changes your experience. The same goes for the champion abilities. They're just not there anymore, and in Breath of the Wild, they're just busted. You had Mipha's Grace that acted as a fairy, but giving you an entire health bar restoration and 4 yellow hearts on top of that, and Rivali's Gale, which just threw climbing out of the window. Although this seems to have been replaced by Ascend, as I guess climbing in the rain is still going to be pretty painful in Tears of the Kingdom. I doubt they've removed that. Let's also talk about Link's new green hand abilities. These are just on a whole other level compared to the runes in Breath of the Wild. Recall has so many possibilities. What if you could not only reverse rocks that have fallen from the sky, but enemies, like you could stop their time with stasis? What if you could reverse thrown weapons back, reverse arrows back, or even reverse things like collapsed piles of debris in front of caves to enter? These new runes have so much more potential compared to those in Breath of the Wild. Fuse? This is just really cool. Some people notice that you can continue to fuse things on top of each other. You won't just be able to fuse a stick with a boulder. You can fuse a stick with a boulder with a stick, and a stick with a boulder with a stick with a boulder, and a... What if these fused weapons also got their own unique names in your inventory? What about the meat arrows? The amount of effort that has gone into this mechanic alone is just mind-blowing. Nintendo Prime has said that developing mechanics such as these takes so much time to work so flawlessly, and that's why stuff like this has just never been done before, and I completely agree. We can't ignore that there was a pandemic in the way, but Tears of the Kingdom has taken more time in development than any other Zelda game, and I think this is why. In the gameplay, Aonuma shows how easily and naturally these runes are used. I can't see any form of difficulty to do with remembering button combinations, or even learning how to use them as a new player. They just look so sleek and natural. I mean, come on. Wiggling the right stick to snap off part of an Ultra Hand build? Is perfect.
Currently attached, they can be detached. Currently attached, they can be detached.
Talking about Ultra Hand, wow. Just wow. Look at it, you can enter full 7-year-old Minecraft mode and stick random stuff together to make even more random stuff. I can only imagine the scale of things that people are going to build with this. Yes, you can build powerboats and make rafts fly without the pain of having to attach a guardian to one and risk your life. But we don't know if there's a limit on the amount of parts you can have in one build. Players can make simple things like cars or go as far as constructing a castle. If there is no limit, people will go out of their way to build an entire base out of logs. Guaranteed. This rune alone provides like 200 hours of gameplay. There's just so much you can do with it. And yes, Tears of the Kingdom is going to reuse Breath of the Wild's assets, and Hyrule's surface is going to be very familiar, but it's going to be much, much better. It's going to take what made Breath of the Wild so groundbreaking and add much more. It will develop on what you felt was lacking in Hyrule, whether it was the repetition of beating shrines or the lack of vertical exploration, and make it better. The Zelda team has listened to everything that we asked of them, and I feel like they're going to give us exactly what we want, even if it reuses Breath of the Wild's graphics. Does that really matter? The gameplay is the main part. It's about how different and crazy it is compared to its predecessor. No game has ever had a DLC that takes the base game and turns it into something astronomically different. All that matters is that the 12th of May is almost here, so we just have to sit patiently and wait. Well, I can't.